It's the most wonderful time of the year. The college tourney's all set, so it's time to place bets on the best team of all. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be 64 teams down to 32 left, the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. The Final Four's next, and I hope that my bracket is kicking everyone else's ass in the pool. It's the most wonderful time. Please let Kansas win it this time. It's the most wonderful time. The box scores next. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, go get you!
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard College for box score.
It's the most wonderful time of the year and the most wonderful time of the day. It's time for the box score. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am a huge Kansas fan.
Whatever team you're a fan of, you're huge.
Are they in the tournament now, Brock? I don't even see them here.
We are playing the Eastern Kentucky Colonels first round. Well, Auburn may not be in the tourney, but they made news yesterday with the hiring of Bruce Pearl. Fritzy, how quick did you hit the phone to book Bruce?
We jumped on it as we are akin to do immediately once he got the job, or once we heard that there was a chance he was going to take the job. And we had communication last night, and late last night we got confirmation that he was agreeable to doing it, and it was great to have him lead us off today as the new head coach at Auburn.
Well, you got the coach on so fast, we learned that he hadn't even settled into his office yet.
Are you sitting at the reception desk?
I am. I'm at my reception. I have not even been in my office. This is my first moment in my office, and I'm at the reception. This is awesome.
I got a picture that was just tweeted out. Are you tweeting out a picture of you at the reception desk?
I think a picture of me at the reception desk might be up there, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was on the Twitter while the interview was going on, and I saw this picture. I didn't even notice it was from Auburn at first. I was like, that's Bruce Pearl. Then I see our show mentioned, and I saw it there, and just mentioned to Dan, why don't ask him about it, because you never know what can happen. And it's pretty funny that good smart move by them, by Auburn, to tweet that out, but you never know what little topic can come off that. Like, if you haven't been in your office yet, what does your office look like? What will it look like? Dan can kind of take it from there.
Does that mean his first order of business when getting the job was call Dan and then go check out my office?
That was the priority.
That's pretty cool. Like, we're number one.
Do the Dan Patrick Show, then worry about assembling your team and figuring out how you're going to make Auburn a success.
I'm sure the Auburn fans are happy to know that he's not working on his coaching staff. We're helping us first.
Paul, are you always on the Twitter during these interviews hoping you might catch moments like this?
I wouldn't say always, but I like to monitor it, and Seton does as well. I think McLovin does as well, because you never know when something can break. And while to Twitter, you pump the brakes and you don't assume everything is the truth on there. If you hear that Michael Jordan has left the team, or whatever it may be, whatever the breaking news is, you can kind of get a heads up, oh, something's coming, and you can look to make sure it's true or not.
Well, going from college to pro, Kobe Bryant also on the show today. Paulie, was there an interesting backstory to booking Kobe?
A little bit. The White House called us a couple weeks ago about another guest, which was not President Obama, but somebody else. We decided not to go with it, but we kept in touch with this person at the White House, and they emailed me yesterday and said, would you like a major basketball player on tomorrow's show? I go, well, can you tell me who the player is? He goes, I can't right now. I go, can you give me a hint? He goes, I really can't. I go, well, then I can't book him. So we're going back and forth. I pick up the phone. I said, look, just tell me who it is. He goes, literally, I promise not to. I said, well, how about this? If I guess, it felt like All the President's Men. If you're on the phone after 10 seconds, that means it's McCord. And I said, does he play for the Lakers? Click. I was like, wait, was click mean that is a Laker player or it isn't a Laker player? And then we realized it was Kobe Bryant.
Well, a Lakers fan would know that Kobe's a product of Lower Merion High School. And Reggie Miller dropped by the show today and talked about how excited he was to visit Dan's alma mater in Dayton. Fritzy, were you the big man on campus back in the day?
I was the student organization president, and I have some good memories of high school. I was coming into my own. I started working out back then. I had a full head of hair, had some exciting experiences. So yeah, I would say I was something sort of special back at Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn.
Okay. Well, we had another friend of the show on today. We went to Rich Eisen. As usual, he and the boss are never afraid to go off topic.
Last celebrity you saw?
I actually, Elizabeth Berkley was at the farmer's market.
Fritzy. Yeah, Saved by the Bell there.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Fritzy, come on out to the farmer's market.
No,
Help me pick out some Fuji apples.
Do you realize
I'm ready.
Okay, the scene in Animal House when you have, like at the market, you know, they're at the grocery store. Otter, I think, is getting a cucumber or something. You can't have Fritzy at the produce.
You creep people out. It's right next. It is right next door to the Beverly Hills Police Department, Dan.
Oh, well, that's good. That'll be convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, and anytime there's an Animal House or Otter reference, nothing good can really come of that. Either it's going to be something creepy, or it's going to be some kind of weight-related joke or something. So, once I heard that and it was going in that direction, I kind of cringed, and I'm like, can we go through a chunk of the day without getting some type of abuse directly or indirectly?
Actually, Fritzy, I don't know if you've seen Animal House because that was not a weight-related joke.
That is definitely not anything that has to do with Otter and the...
Yeah, if it was Flounder, that'd be a joke. Now, Otter, the president... Greg Marmalard was going through the food aisle at the Food King, and he ran into Dean Wormer's wife.
That's right.
And he was holding various fruits.
She's a
and
wild
vegetables.
one.
Yeah, and she broached Otter, or Otter broached her, and next thing you know, Fritzy is go time. So you may have to watch Animal House again.
Fritzy,
you've not seen
it's been a
Animal
long time since I've seen Animal House.
No
but
excuses.
But if it's some kind of sexual reference with a cucumber, then that'll be my first order of business as soon as the box score is over.
You know, in the Danette movie, Stephen Furst, who was in Animal House, has been often mentioned, linked to you.
Yeah,
possibly.
He played Flounder.
Yeah.
But that was one of those moments, though, where like all of a sudden I looked up and I was like, wait a minute, how did we get here? How are we talking about the cucumber scene now? Like what?
Great reference.
Man.
Okay, well, it's always good to have Rich on. And we asked the boss how they always seem to find a way to have fun in this edition of Boss's Thoughts.
Rich is just a regular conversation that I don't go as scripted with him, that I can have a list of topics, but I can end up, even today, we talked about things that I wasn't planning on talking about, but that's sort of, I want the audience to eavesdrop, that I'm giving you an opportunity to listen in or watch the conversation, and that's all I'm trying to do. So you feel like you may not supposed to be hearing this, but you appreciate the fact that you're hearing something that would be a normal conversation with Rich and I. That's what we would talk about if I called him on the phone. So that's the goal, and hopefully we accomplish that occasionally.
It's definitely two friends talking, and two super funny friends. And Dan will occasionally, in the morning, of the show, will say like, what are we going to do with Rich today? Or what are we going to, what angles do we have to hit? And Dan sort of scrutinizes every interview with that. And always in the back of my mind, when it comes to Rich, I'm always like, dude, who cares? Don't worry about it. It's going to be awesome. Like, you guys just say hello, and then all of a sudden you're just off and running about, like, movies or music or the NFL or whatever it is. So Rich is a sure thing.
All right, well, don't go anywhere, guys. Coming up, it's time to hit the books with the Danettes. And Fritzy shares what's in his DVD collection. Oh, boy. Stay tuned.
I took the SAT twice. Once I had stayed in and got like a really great night's sleep, and the other time I had literally stayed out all night partying and went from a campfire into the classroom to do that. And I'll let you guess which one I did better on.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Bang,
right there with you. I'm not going to get into college.
Oh, I stunk.
Welcome back to the box score. Glad to have you along. The SAT's a big topic today in the man cave. We saw how Seton prepared for the big exam, but how did the rest of you guys gear up for this? Let's go to you, Paulie, first.
I remember this specifically. We didn't take the SAT. I'm from the Midwest. We took the ACT. But I played poker at my friend Andy Gasparo's house till about 1 in the morning. And we all showed up the next day pretty banged up. And I brought my pencil. I did okay. I took it again. I did pretty well.
How about the back?
I took a class with some friends at Kingsborough Community College on the water in Brooklyn, and they gave us assignments and homework and things to read and practice sheets and all that, and I didn't take it very seriously. We ended up going to the playground and playing ball all day, and I paid the price, and I could have done a lot better on the SAT if I would have applied myself a lot better.
See, I wasn't worried at all. I just kicked back, relaxed, read some sci-fi in my room alone, typical Friday night.
Dune under soft light. Okay. The topic even came up during Rich Eisen, during the Rich Eisen interview. When DP asked his bud what he scored, here's what Rich said.
What'd you get on the SAT?
1260.
1260.
But that was on my second crack. I did a 1080 first.
McLovin's laughing here.
Why?
1260. Come on, Rich.
Got a 1400? Are you out of your mind?
McLovin got a, what would you get?
1410.
Yeah.
1410.
He got 1410 out of 1400.
Where did you go to school, McLovin?
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth, he says, with his 1410.
All right. Now, I understand that, first of all, it's like everybody in there was speaking a foreign language to me. I'm like 1410s, and like, to me, it's all radio station frequencies. I'm like, oh, yeah, AM out of Hartford, great. But now, it may be me being a little, like, defensive or whatever, but it's kind of lame to see, like, a bunch of 40-year-old dudes bragging about their SAT scores.
Or defensive about it. Or defensive about it.
Yeah, like, oh, man, you only had a 1260? Like, all right.
Okay, it's beyond lame. Even I'll admit that.
Let's flash back to high school and throw a sample SAT question at you guys. You have it in front of you, and I'm not smart enough to even read this one, so McLovin, why don't you take the lead on this?
Okay. Because sports television host Dan Patrick paved the way for later sports television hosts, he is considered a blank of that style. A, connoisseur, B, revivalist, C, beneficiary, D, disparager, or E, progenitor.
Wow, that sounds like an awfully tough question. Let's hear each of your answers, please.
First of all, McLovin, starting a sentence with because, that is spotty grammar at best. We all know that. I'm going to go with progenitor because it's not A, B, C, or D, and I'm not sure what progenitor means.
It's funny, Paulie and I actually had the exact same strategy. There was only one word on here that I had no idea what it meant, and that was E, progenitor, so that was my answer.
Yep, I had E, progenitor as well. Pro, it sounds like something positive, something good, so it seemed like the other ones didn't fit, so I went E.
You poor Danette. You fell for the oldest trick in the book. But you happen to get it right. It's progenitor. See, the problem with this question is too easy. They should have put another word that people didn't know.
Oh. Well, we had no ideas. Stay right there, you brainiacs. Coming up, it's time to go to the theaters with the guys, and we'll also see how McLovin's training is going heading up to Friday.
If there was a Ron Burgundy School of Broadcasting, these guys definitely would have flunked out. You're watching Brock and the Danettes on the Box Score.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Special thanks to Ron Burgundy for the shout-out. Quickly, Paulie, what's your favorite line from Anchorman?
He goes, I think we've been coming to this party for 12 years, and that's not completely sad and depressing. You know, he kind of makes fun of how bad their life is really, really good. I don't know the line exactly, but it's really good.
I think it was spot on. Movies were a topic of conversation today, as DP told us what he was watching last night. You guys decided to weigh in on the topic. Let's see how that went.
I watch movies that I've seen 50 times over, and my wife gets really annoyed with me. Like, I've seen Kill Bill, actually, in the last 2 weeks. I've seen either one of them about 3 times. She's like, why do you keep watching these movies over and over again?
Yeah,
I like them.
I watched Tombstone the other day. I have 2 copies of the Tombstone DVD to the right next to my TV. My wife goes, can't you just put those on at a later date?
There's just some movies that you don't mind watching over and over again. Like for me, it's say like any of the newer Batman movies, Dark Knight Rises or whatever, I immediately stop on those and watch it. Any Bourne Identity, I'm in. And I don't mind knowing everything that's going to happen and being able to quote these lines like line for line.
Yeah, it's like having, if you're not even hungry, but you walk into the kitchen, there's a plate full of chocolate chip cookies, you're going to eat one. You turn on the TV and Usual Suspects are on, that's it, Johnny, it's over.
Chocolate chip cookie.
All right, back row, starting with Fritzy, what classic films can we find in your DVD collection? And please leave out the
Manual
X-rated
3.
stuff.
I jotted down a few Bad News Bears, the Rocky collection, Airplane, The Shining, Goodfellas, Saturday Night Fever, Stir Crazy, Private Lessons, Little Darlings.
Private Lessons?
Something with Seymour Butts. I'm not sure what that is. 9.5 Weeks.
That's your girl Sylvia.
Anything from after 1986?
Sylvia Crystal.
Sylvia Crystal. Yeah.
Private lessons, that was a big deal.
You know what
we were
that
too
movie's
young to
about?
see it. Oh, yeah. And our camp counselor snuck us into that. We were all like 8, and we got a chance
That's
to
the
see
movie where
private
the
lessons.
teacher comes over to give the kid.
You've told the
Oh, yeah.
story about you going to private lessons
It was
more
very
than you've
exciting.
told us about your wedding with Jen. You've told us like 30 times. Like
We were
it's the
supposed to
highlight
see-
of your
We were
life.
supposed to see the Apple Dumpling
Here it comes
Gang
again.
with like Tim
Apple Dumpling
Conway and
Gang.
Don Knotts, and instead our counselors who were on various drugs decided let's go see private lessons instead for camp. So that was cool.
Probably was better than your wedding.
Okay. All right, let's take a break here, guys. Coming up, we're going to wrap it all up on the box score. Don't go anywhere.
McLovin found out there's some kind of, is it a drink you can take?
Yes.
That gives you superhuman power?
Yeah, I was working out with a football team yesterday to get some pointers, and they said there's this drink that your face will start to tingle when you take it.
I think I saw this in Breaking Bad, so just be careful.
Yeah, I mean, are we going to set odds? Can I make it or can I survive this? Because it's very possible I'll die on air.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that, as long as the cameras are rolling.
Welcome back to the box score. I'm Brock. This is the box score bar. McMuscles, you got a huge day coming up on Friday. You got to bench press 200 pounds or you face the wheel. Have you been warming up the guns?
Yeah, I've been on a 4-day training regimen, which everyone tells me is the dumbest thing I can do because I should be resting. But I pumped some iron yesterday.
What was the chemical or juice that you were going to drink or shoot up before the lift?
I've heard it referred to as several things now. The guys at the gym are calling it C4, which was not good. Isn't that like the explosive?
Yeah.
I've heard no explode. I've heard rip fuel.
Didn't you say you tried something or thinking about trying something that's supposed to make your face
Yes.
tingly? That doesn't sound like a good thing.
No, they're like your left arm will start tingling. I'm like, isn't that when you call an ambulance because you're having a heart attack? They're like, well, it could be a
sign of a stroke or
a heart thing.
Brock, we were working out with these college kids yesterday. McLovin jokingly said, "Is there something I could take, like a supplement?" Like, "Oh yeah, some people before they max out, they take this powdered drink, and you were just wired, where your skin's on fire, your hair is on end." He goes, "You feel like superhuman for about an hour."
And you buy this at like over the counter?
They said it's completely legal.
That cannot be safe.
I think we got to. We can look at you lifting this 135 pounds with ease. Let's roll that one. Oh, down and back up. You're doing a little training at Sacred Heart there with the football team. Do you feel good enough to challenge any of those guys?
135 pounds.
I think you could handle a lot more than that. And with a vest on, you're not even dressed for a bench press. And that's
Oh man, you know it's weird. Those guys were. What's the opposite of intimidated? They were very unimpressed with me, but after I threw up 135 without assistance, they're like, "Dang,
could've done
man,
it with one
does he have any eligibility left?"
They didn't say anything like that, but they did say like, "Wow, he was pretty comfy with that 135." And though they said 200's a way different, they're like, they changed their minds after a half an hour there. They're like, I think your guy can do it.
Now you say you got some hernia. Do you actually have like a scrotal or a hiatal hernia? Is something going to go popping out of you?
I have basically, Brock, before you started, I did injure myself on the show. I was showing off how I could stretch, and I was stretching my hamstring, and something went wrong. I don't know if I have a pulled groin, which is infringing.
I heard some kind of popping sound, but you were showing us a little more than we wanted to see about where exactly something might be sticking out now. That was.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing. Do you want to see it? Here, it's
Please do not.
No.
No.
These are excuses in advance in case he doesn't come through.
All right, Fritzy, do you take any supplements to help you lift?
No, I take, I'll take like multivitamins and things like that, and various medications that we don't have to get into
men's
right
once
now.
a day.
But no, I never took any stuff. I took something called a steel bar once. Some protein bar, banana, a smoothie. But
It's funny.
None of that stuff that comes in those giant containers.
I was looking through the house last night. I'm like, I was a little panicky about it. Is there anything here that can get me ripped? All I found was a jar of prenatal vitamins, and I'm like, is there any creatine in prenatal vitamins?
Flintstone chewables. No, this isn't going to do anything for me.
All right, is there going to be an ambulance on standby?
You know, it's funny, we don't have any medical attention even in the tri-state area that we know of. I mean, we are just going to have a couple guys hold the bar, and if McLovin pops a pec, he's on his own.
What if the weight falls off and it goes through the roof?
That's on them. I mean, our floor is good to go. If their roof is enough to code, that's their business.
Hopefully they've got insurance. That's not on us. We're entitled to have a bench press contest within the confines of our studio.
But I don't think we are. Not in any. There's no law that says we can do this.
It doesn't say we can't.
McLovin, do you have all of your affairs in order? Wills, directions for your burial?
Yes, I do, thanks to LegalZoom.com.
Nicely
That's
done.
LegalZoom.com. All restrictions apply.
Brock, who are you putting your money on? Are you putting on your money on the weight or McLovin?
I like McLovin in this. He tossed up that 135 like he was throwing around a science fiction book. So I think he's got it.
I don't think we could find anyone in the room who's right now betting against McLovin. Everyone said so far they're betting towards him. So we got to find someone on campus who doesn't think he's going to do it.
Right here.
You and DP are the only two.
I was looking, the weights are in the back, and I was lifting one up. I'm like, this can't be right. It has 25 on here. I'm like, this is not 25. This has got to be 35 at least. Could be bad.
It's going to happen.
What is the, put us through this visually. What does 200 look like on the bar? Is it 245s on each side?
Right, 245s, a 25, a 5, and a 2.5. We had to go out to Sears to buy the 2.5. So we're going, this is by the book, Olympic rules.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the bar will not strike fear into anybody when you see it. It's not a ton of weight.
I know, it's going to be a little underwhelming. What about those clips? How much do those weigh?
Sounded like a ton to me.
The clips don't weigh very much.
The clips?
You can't really factor those in. Those are usually kind of light.
I think those are very heavy clips.
And sometimes they slip off, so we're going to have to really be careful with you. And then the
Brock, what can you bench?
Flying off.
Me? I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah.
I think 190 was the stack in the gym. It was knotless. And I think I may have injured myself after that.
McLovin asked for a Bowflex to be brought in for safety. I like that little band system, because then that really you can't get hurt. It's not going to snap back and hit you.
Oh, well, you go shirtless. All right, guys. Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
NFL Network draft analyst Mike Mayock on Blake Bortles' pro day and what he saw from Teddy Bridgewater. Also, former NBA player and Kentucky star Rex Chapman will be on the Thursday edition as well.
Awesome. Thanks for watching The Box Score. Tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern only on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!